Welcome to C News Now.
You think you know Liu Yuning, but do you really? It all started on a cloudy morning during a film shoot in Hengdian. The crew of A Dream Within a Dream was quietly preparing for another long day of historical drama. Powdered wigs, sweeping robes, and carefully choreographed emotional breakdowns. Among the elegant chaos stood a man, tall, composed, and oddly silent. It was Liu Yuning, the superstar singer-turned-actor known for lighting up live streams with his energetic, funny, and endlessly talkative personality. But here on set, he said almost nothing. Everyone noticed. And so did Li Yitong, his co-star, a woman as graceful as she is intuitive. Her first thought? Wait. Is this the same Liu Yuning that jokes nonstop online? This guy barely says a word. That moment sparked a journey of unexpected discoveries. About a man who lives two lives. One in front of a camera, and one far more complicated behind it. The stranger in the frame. Li Yitong didn't expect to find herself tiptoeing around Liu Yuning. She's worked with plenty of famous actors before. But this one, he was a paradox. He would arrive early, rehearse his lines alone, and speak only when necessary. No ego, no entourage, no diva behavior. I thought he might just be shy, she later said in an interview. But it was more than that. He seemed to have this shield up. For someone known across China for his charisma, this version of Liu Yuning felt almost foreign. A glimpse behind the curtain. Then came the turning point. One day, after finishing his scenes early, Liu Yuning headed back to his hotel and did what he always does. He opened a live stream. There he was lounging at home, joking with fans, singing casually into his mic. Meanwhile, back on set, the crew and Li Yitong were still filming. Someone pulled up his stream out of curiosity, and they saw him. Live. Comfortable. Funny. Familiar. It was like watching Clark Kent take off the glasses. The room burst into laughter. We were like, oh my god, he's totally alive at home. Why doesn't he talk like that here? Yitong laughed. In that moment the ice melted. He was no longer the quiet guy. He was the Liu Yuning everyone had heard about, just in disguise. The gentle giant. Working with Liu became easier after that. Still quiet, still reserved, but now there was warmth. Li Yitong began to see the subtle ways he expressed care. Like during an emotionally intense scene, where her character had to collapse into his arms. Now here's the problem. Liu Yuning is tall. Like really tall. Yitong was worried she wouldn't be able to reach his chest naturally. It might look awkward or forced. But when the director called action, something magical happened. Liu didn't move, but he adjusted. Just enough so her character's fall felt real. Not staged. Not theatrical. But protective. It wasn't written in the script. It wasn't directed. He just knew. That moment, she said, I realized he's incredibly present. Not just in the scene, but for his partner. The story they were telling. A Dream Within a Dream is not your typical costume drama. Yes, there are love triangles and tearful reunions. But at its heart, the story is about breaking fate. Rewriting your own destiny even when the world says you can't. For Li Yitong, this theme resonated deeply. And the more she worked with Liu Yuning, the more she saw that same quiet rebellion in him. He doesn't just act the role of someone fighting destiny. He is that person. After all, Liu wasn't born into stardom. He worked in restaurants, sang in bars, was rejected countless times before finding success. His fame was earned, not gifted. And on set, that grit showed. Every scene he filmed was soaked in that history. He didn't need to say much. His silence said everything. Would she work with him again? When the interview wrapped up, someone finally asked the question everyone was thinking. Would you work with Liu Yuning again? Li Yitong didn't hesitate. If the story calls for it, absolutely. Because it never felt like work. There was no need to manufacture chemistry or force anything. It was just real. She smiled. He's not what you expect. And maybe that's what makes him so good. Final thoughts. The power of mystery. In today's entertainment industry, personalities are often exaggerated, loud, and overexposed. But Liu Yuning's quiet contradiction may be his greatest weapon. He gives just enough for the public to love him, but holds enough back to leave them endlessly curious. Even co-stars like Li Yitong, who spend months working beside him, can only say, "There's so much more to him than we see." And maybe that's the point. Because behind every calm stare, every silent rehearsal, and every gentle gesture, lies a story Liu Yuning doesn't need to tell. He just lives it. Studio microphone. So, next time you watch Liu Yuning on screen, look a little closer. Behind the silence, there's a storm of purpose. Behind the reserved smile, a story of resilience. Maybe we don't need to hear him speak to understand his message. Maybe we just need to feel it. Bell, if you like this video, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and tell us, what do you think Liu Yuning is really like off camera?